Man, so what bike do I get next? You know? It would be, I don't know. I mean, it's so hard. I was even thinking after riding the the YZ450 that I would maybe get one of those. Aftermarket's awesome on them. You know, I could get rid of, I don't know if I'd really want to get rid of the Honda, but maybe it's about time to pass it on, if you will, I think at this point of the life, I was always going to do, like, let it be a big loser bike, but I figured by then it would have be, like, in not a working state, you know? I think I would go ahead, I would sell it probably cheap, because I've definitely got my use out of it. To somebody that really needs a bike, you know, wants to ride. Just, they can't really go out and spend $2 or $3 grand, you know? I mean, that bike's been well ridden. I mean, I could probably ask quite a bit for it, because, you know, most people don't know. I mean, put it on Craigslist, good chances most people wouldn't even know who is listing it. Well, yeah, that's true, they wouldn't. And, but, you know, why? I know I got the use out of it. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's an idea. I kind of wanted a big adventure bike, but I'm not 100% sure on the big adventure bike. Would I use a big adventure bike? And then, boy, then you got those electric bikes, Alta Motors, out now. Those bikes, that's a pretty cool concept. I wish the range was longer, but you know, right now it's all about racing, and they're working on making it as light as possible for racing, so compromises. Thank you. That was nice of them. But yeah, so those are racing, but there's no reason why they couldn't put a bigger battery on it and have it more dual sportable, you know. Like, even if you could only get, say, 120 miles. You could work with 120 miles. I've done plenty of loops with 120 miles. And you can do some hard riding in 120 miles. And, I mean, you could go do 5 miles of hell. You could go do, there's a lot of stuff you could do without worrying about, you know, if you have enough juice. Obviously, that's the big concern, right? Because if you run out, there's no, like, charging it or anything. There's no putting fuel in it. There's, it's dead. So you're going to have to push it out or stick to, like, trail systems that are smaller, at least initially. And I think you could make that happen. I mean, as long as you know certain areas, yeah, there's no reason. I mean, you go ride around Penrose, that's like 20 miles. And good thing with electric, though, unlike gas is, if you're throttle off, motor's not out spinning, there's just nothing being used. You know, your daytime riding, you don't really need a light bulb. So, I mean, they're race bikes, so they don't have a headlight. So you don't need that. So that's not draining anything. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of positives. The one negative is the cost, but with everything, that'll go down over time. And they're spending so much on research and development. I don't know, Alta Motors, that definitely piques my interest. But as far as you get back to getting a new bike, I really don't know. I mean, I would like to buy a brand new one because I use my stuff. But I know there's also good deals out there too, especially when winter comes. You get the person that wants to they just can't afford the bike. And now it's winter and they're making payments on a bike. They paid $7 for, maybe they owe, I don't know, let's say they owe $4, and they've already spent money tricking it out, putting some sparkles and stuff on it, and you can get it for $4, what they basically owe, because it's probably not going to be able to take less. But, it's 1 year old. Most people don't put many miles on their bikes, and maybe it only has 500,000 miles. I don't know. I mean, do I get something like that, or do I get a 690 or 701? Lots of power. I know I could probably handle it off on single track and stuff. They're light bikes for their size. I mean, it's comparable to the XR. And I would be able to do bigger trips. Fuel tank's the issue. I mean, Safari does sell a tank for the 690, so probably, 701's the same, really. So you're looking at, but this is the big fairing. I mean, it sticks out quite a bit. It's a big tank. But if I were to use it mainly for bigger rides, put a good seat on it, the bigger tank, I don't know, that might be a possibility. And they have their issues too. I hate riding in tunnels because you can't see shit. Well, I have a mirrored visor on too, so that doesn't help. Well, you just have to aim for the bright side and hope no big rock fell in the middle that you're gonna hit and end up going down, and then the bike would be off, no light, and you'd be standing there like, ah. Good thing is, there's no vehicles on this. So the worst thing would be is a mountain biker coming through with probably no headlights. So yeah, that has to be a long, lonely pedal. Wow. Man, they're serious. I could go faster, but I just know there's people out here, so I'm going 25, so it seems like a good, reasonable speed when you know there's somebody out here. Like the mountain bikers. I don't want to dust them. Look behind me. Yeah, I don't have any dust right now. Just nice steady on the gas. Yeah, it's actually kind of amazing. The exhaust, my bike is so much quieter without the hide on. I think the hide was just echoing everything. And that O-ring off was probably making noise too. Look at that view. Yeah, it's actually not bad up here. I'm wearing all black. I'm not I'm sweating under the vest because that's thick. But it's nice and cool. The breeze is good. I don't really have an issue. So yeah, back to the bikes. I don't know, guys. Bikes. I would love to have an African twin. I would love to have a Ural with a sidecar. I know, kind of weird, but I like that shit. That's the thing. I like being different. And the problem with KTM is there's too much orange. We're actually having a Yamaha WR450. That is kind of like, you know, it's a lot more unique. Isn't that weird? Because so many people go and like they buy the KTM for more money, but it's not necessarily a better bike. And having lived in Austria myself, I kind of find it funny that people put so much pride into owning a Austrian product. I mean, having lived there, they're very heavily unionized, and they're not like the best known workers around. I mean, they do good work, don't get me wrong, but they definitely take advantage of the whole union situation. You know, they're like, oh, like we were having our townhome, our complex where the embassy personnel live on Harteckerstrasse. They were repainting it. It took them forever because if it even looked like it was going to rain, they would set out a piece of paper, and if 3 drops of water hit it, that was it for the day. Even if it just blew over within an hour, it didn't matter. That was it. They're done. Union says they're done. So, I don't know. People put so much faith into their products. I'm not saying necessarily it's bad. It's just I find it kind of funny having lived there. And I know a lot of good Austrian people too. So, you know, I do consider Österreich and Wien my home. Because 4 years, all of high school there.